here's another thing that is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. When I talk about DIBS, digital instruction blocks, it is a framework. And into that framework, all sorts of pieces can be dropped. But one of my favorite pieces is what I call teacher eyes. And teacher eyes is what we see as we go about our lives. Because as teachers, we always are looking for what might be useful in the classroom. What would make sense to kids? What's an example? When I was at a museum with my own children, I saw a demonstration about guitars, and it had a black and white wheel, and you strum the guitar and you press the pedal and the tones went up and down, and that was wonderful. But when I looked at the black and white wheel, I saw standing waves, the standing waves that made the music. And those different strings had different standing waves. And while it wasn't really for me to explain to my children at that point because of their age and appropriateness, it's great for my pre-calculus classroom. So I took my phone and I took a picture, and I should have taken a short video, but I didn't. I took a picture, and that picture I use now year in and year out to explain amplitudes, periods, and shifts in wave, and I connect it to music. When you can take a math classroom and connect it to their guitar, now you're connecting to students. Additionally, I went to a trade show about agriculture, and everything in that trade show, I came home with about 12 videos and 12 interviews with various representatives from various booths, because it was all about science, it was all about math, it was all about being able to communicate and being professional and careers. And although that's maybe not my specific area, it's about learning. And as a teacher, I'm about learning. So I had a great blog post, and I sent an entire list in DIBS of short little video interviews of 5 to 8 minutes with people that were absolute experts in their field. And that's something that when we look with our teacher's eyes, we can come back with. I'm also a history guy. I love history even though I teach math. And as I go places with my family, I might go places that some of my students are never able to visit. And as much as I would love to take all my students to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, because it's an amazing place of both technology and history and science, and I recommend it to everyone, I'm in Illinois and we're not taking kids over there. And those kids that could go over there with their family maybe or may do or don't. But I can bring some of those things back to them in a way that is a lot more real than reading about it in a book. When you go see Boxcar that dropped the second atomic bomb, or when you see Doolittle's Raiders and the cups that have their names both top and bottom, so that as the Doolittle Raiders died, they turned them over permanently, and how there's the one that still stands upright, and the bottle that before they went, that Doolittle put out for his men to say, we'll drink this when we're done. That's a powerful story, and I'd love to tell it to them all in person. But if I can bring it back to my classroom digitally, that's a good second best. So when we go through our world, look with teachers' eyes. I do construction in the summer, and I was sheeting the gable end of my roof. Well, that's math. And I worked with a railroader who was off duty. He was my second-hand man, and we got to the sheeting, and I had him hold my simple cell phone. For a guy that doesn't take video and is not technologically inclined, I said, press the red button. And he did, and he followed me through the process. And we talked about graphing lines with slope-intercept form. We talked about slope using rise over run with 412 roofs. We talked about finding trapezoidal cuts. We did all sorts of things that applied absolutely to my geometry classroom, to my algebra classroom, but were applied in a way that accomplished a real task. You want to bring learning into the classroom, look with your teacher's eyes. How does that have anything to do with DIBS? Because each of these little learning vignettes, each of these little learning interviews are something that you can be grabbing your cloud of curation, and you can grab them and put them into your lesson as needed. So that cloud of curation that you have can be used as needed and grabbed where appropriate. So Look for teachers, things that you can bring into your classroom. Look with your teacher eyes, put it in your cloud of curation, and put it into your lessons, because DIBS are a flexible framework, and that flexibility allows us to put in or take out as needed.